So this is the AWE exhaust that Rex got for the Jeep. It's the Tread product. They have Tread and Trail. So this is a kit and it's from Cat Back. It's a 3-inch because we're running a high horsepower Hemi. It's all stainless. It came with the AWE tips. These are 4-inch tips. We haven't decided yet if we're gonna use these or how we're gonna use these. The kit came with really nice stainless strap clamps. They're not V-band, but they're the nice strap clamps that'll keep everything together for the entire kit. So how it works, here's the exhaust with the dual mufflers. And what's nice is it has the hangers in place for the factory, where the factory hangs. So this is gonna be out the back. And then these are gonna slip in. What's really nice about this is you can get the proper angle you want, and if you're really anal like we are and it's not evenly spaced, you know, you got room to move these in and out to get them where you want, and then the tips go on here. We're gonna go ahead and get that on really quick. And before we do, this is your over the axle pipe. Again, factory hanger. And then we opted to get an exhaust with a resonator back on it so that this thing doesn't just drone you out on the highway. Okay, well, we have the exhaust loosely installed. It's just hanging on the hangers and the pipes are slipped into one another. So if you take a look over here at the driver's side, these are the AW tips that the kit came with. These are really sharp. I put these
4.5 inches.
What are they?
4.5 inches.
4.5 inches. I put 4-inch AWEs on my son's Cadillac to make the CTSV exhaust. But what we don't like is they hang, they're too far out, and you can't really push them back because this has to mount on this widened flange where they flared it. So if you go back, now you're off that flange. And again, if he comes down off of something that's got any type of elevation and he comes off with the back tires, they're probably going to get ruined. So what we're going to do is, because they flared that, it kind of looks like a really nice tip, and we have the adjustability, we're just going to leave the exhaust like this. But if you check this out, all stainless, really, really good quality, nice welds, factory hangers. We put it up in 10 minutes. The only thing that I had to do is one of the hangers for the pipe that comes off the axle down the side of the frame wheel where it meets the resonator. That's actually a 2-piece pipe. I had to cut about 1/2 inch off of the hanger, which is fine. At least they give you enough because you can move your exhaust back and forth. But it was going to hit the frame rail where we needed it, and we needed it over as far as possible because it's got to clear that long-range auxiliary tank. But yeah, there it is. And how much was it, Rex?
$1,400.
So $1,400, and that's not bad. All stainless, 3-inch with the tips. We're just going to box these back up. We'll sell these individually, but the only thing that I really need to do now is come from the SRT manifolds off the engine. We're going to run cats. The swap kit came with 402 sensors to install. So we're going to run cats. I'm going to make that by hand to get from the motor to the front of the resonator on the main pipe. But that's it. Looks pretty good. It's going to sound real good too.
All right, so this is the Rhino Rack system I got for the Jeep. It has the JK specific backbone kit, which is all of the mounting hardware that's going to go on the hardtop, as well as the brackets that go inside of the hardtop to support the weight. There's brackets that go in through the back window, and then there's going to be 6 mounting points on top of the hardtop that will secure to the roof rack itself. And then this is the Rhino Rack Pioneer 72 by 56 inch, I think, platform. It's their newest gen version of it. And then I also got the locking legs. These are the low profile ones They have some that are slightly higher that are quick release, but I would like lower profile to get me into tighter spaces. And that's pretty much that.
You got some accessories for it.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of accessories that are in the mail. There's eyelets, roof box carriers, and then some locking brackets just to tie stuff down. It'll be mostly used for a rooftop tent, but until that comes in, or even when it's in, I just wanted to have some accessories to use to just hold anything down that I need.
So what we're doing right now is the Rhino Rack has a hollow channel specifically for wiring. So in the future, if you wanted to install lights on the rack or a compressor on top or anything, you can run your wire through the rack instead of on the outside and making it look bad. And then we just looped it up. Here, let's show them that. Looped it up, ran it back in on itself again, and then we're going to put the caps on. And then whenever he needs to wire something, he doesn't have to disassemble anything. Okay, so we have the actual rack itself assembled, and this is the inner frame that goes around the inside of the rear windows of the hardtop. So what's going to happen is there'll be a bracket on the outside of the roof, and we're going to drill through, and it's going to go, the bolts will go through the bracket, through the roof, and into these. And then these holes here are the factory holes, including this notch, where the hardtop bolts to the rear quarters of the Jeep. So they give you templates for the front, and you use the brackets here as templates for the side. So we're going to drill 3 holes here, 2 in the side, 1 on top. I'm going to have 2 here and then 2 on the top, and then all those brackets go on, and then there's other brackets that mount to the tops of these with these threaded holes, and then the rack will go onto that. So it's pretty involved. The directions are sketch at best, but you just really have to pay attention and make sure that you're actually using the right set of instructions, because it's a universal kit and they give you specific dimensions. There's actually printed rulers scale on the bottom of the rack in centimeters, I believe, and it tells you where all of your crossbars need to go for specific vehicles. So we downloaded the instructions for the JK and put it, we assembled it according to those instructions. So now we're going to drill and we're going to get the brackets mounted on the top. So we have the outer brackets on now. This is your corner bracket, the center bracket obviously, and this is the forward bracket. And then underneath is where the inner structure helps support the roof, the weight of the roof, and it comes all the way down to the bottom rail on the top. So we got the Rhino Rack accessories in for the new rack. Right off the bat, these are just light bracket kits that my son bought in case later on he wanted to put some lights on. This is an awning kit that you can actually take out and put your sliders in and mount it to the side of the rack. So if you're out camping or something, and then it's got threaded holes here, you can mount some type of awning. One of the other really neat things they have, this is a pack of self-locking sliders for these channels. Normally what you would have is these wider grooves up here where you slide these in and then you bolt your accessories through there. What these do is they're self-locking. So this is an eyelet and you put it in the channel and then you tighten it. Really? I have to edit that. There we go. And you tighten it and then you're done. You end up like this here. And they come in a pack. This was an 8-pack we bought. And all of the accessories, you know, they come with these standard equipment to go ahead and put those on. But these are much better. And my son got a handful of them because you never know what you're going to need. So typical to that also, this is a 4-corner system. that you can carry something like Milwaukee Packout boxes or coolers or any type of travel container. And what is nice about this is it allows you, once you get this in where you want it, it tightens with eyelets similar to these, and then you can go ahead and bungee strap it down or ratchet strap it down, and you don't have to worry about anything falling off, but it holds it in place. And what's cool is they're adjustable, so you can go in, you can go out, you can turn them around, you can slide them all the way around, and you can get a huge, huge container up here. So this is also neat. These are ratcheting clamps, basically, only they're not fabric, they're aluminum. And what you can do is, if you have a shovel or a rake or a pickaxe or a tent pole or a hiking stick, you just go ahead and ratchet that down, lock it, and you're good. What's really nice is they have these rubber inserts in here that really grab this stuff. This is all rubber. It's not hard metal or hard plastic. So, and again, they have a bolt, and we use these self-locking guide plates, and you can slide them back and forth wherever you need them. And one of the last things we got are these locking hold downs. So if you are not using these, you can just go ahead and take the cables out, store them in your box or whatever, and then when you need to hold something down or lock something down, or say you're at the beach or you're hiking and you have something that you don't want to walk off the property, you can just lock it up. He's got 2 different size cables here. Pretty neat stuff. The keys are all numbered to tell you which ones go where. And again, you take your keys out and you're good to go. So pretty cool stuff. Check everything out at rhinorack.com. So one of the last things we did on this project was to create this system for Rex to carry Milwaukee Packout boxes without having them slide all over the place, or without having to mount them on the roof rack if he doesn't need to. So if he has the 2-man tent on top, he still will be able to bring his Packout system with him. He's got recovery gear in here. He's got his accessories for the roof rack in here. He's got first aid kit in here. You know, just stuff that you need out on the trail. And what's nice about this is I used this 1/4 by 1 inch aluminum stock, and I made a rectangular bracket. And we went to Home Depot and bought the Milwaukee Packout Rack that is actually designed to bolt to your wall, and then you can hang battery chargers and other Milwaukee accessories off your wall. And we used the existing tie-down points, these things right here. There was 4 of these in here, and we just took them out and we used the existing anchor points in the floor, and I made this rack, and we just drilled holes and used spacers underneath because this is sunk into the floor, and we used longer bolts to attach this to, and we bolted the Milwaukee rack to the bracket and then bolted the bracket to the floor. So what's really cool about this is it doesn't go anywhere. And then if he wants to access stuff from inside the Jeep, he can. There's his recovery straps, for example, or you know, you can just take it out. And you know, you have another one over here. This is nice because with these 2 piled on top, he has the drawers. So that's cool because then you can leave these on top of here and you don't have to take this out to get to anything. So, and if he needs the extra room in the back and he still wants to take this, you saw earlier in the video, he's got the 4-corner system that goes on the roof. You can just take this out and toss it on the roof, and it's still not going to go anywhere. One of the reasons we chose to do it this way is because with just 4 bolts, you can take this whole thing out. If he's not out on the road, you just put it away in the garage and then you're done with it and you have your storage area back for your Jeep. So this is the builder's kit we ordered from MagnaFlow. I've already started on a few things. You can see I got a couple pieces on the table already. It came with 4 45 bends, 4 90-degree bends, 2 180 bends. Came with a bag of hardware to hang everything. Obviously, we're using the factory hangers on the Jeep. And I've got a few pieces cut and tacked up. But this is what's going to complete our exhaust installation. It came with the male and female bell housings. The SRT manifolds have 3-inch bells on them. So I was able to get those on there. Those are on there now. And we're going to go ahead and get this finished up and get this Jeep on the road. We got the new tank in from Jeep finally, and I want to explain why this happened. These are your vent lines for your emissions vapor recovery system. This one here cracked and broke. I got online, I tried, I got on some Jeep forums. Guys say they drill the holes out, use a roll pin, which I have, and I tried using some different types of adhesive, but it just didn't work and it's still cracked. So what happens is you're going to get a check engine light and you're going to get emissions codes because this thing's venting when it's not supposed to, and you know, you're just going to have problems later on down the road. And if you have to get it emissions tested like we do, it's never going to pass. Unfortunately, this is not serviceable like the fuel pump. You can take this out and replace it. This is molded into the tank. And if you think to yourself, I would just super glue it, well, there's a reason super glue doesn't stick to the inside of the plastic bottles that they're manufactured in. It's because this is the same type of plastic, so it doesn't work. So our only option was to order a new tank. Okay, I want to show you guys how to connect these modern fuel lines to your swap. So most of the new cars use what looks like this. Some people call them push lock fittings, some people call them quick connect fittings. One way is to cut the end off and use a compression fitting here if you're connecting to an existing line on the car, such as the engine or coming out of the tank. Another way to do it is they have some really neat technology and ideas in the fitting world. This is a Russell brand. So this is designed for these. Here's another one of their fittings. This is their male end. This is the female end. And all it is a collar. So you slide the collar over your line, or the line coming off the intake, and this has an O-ring in it which does the sealing, and you just slide it over there until it hits the bottom, and then you tighten the collar. You know, this doesn't really ever need to come off. I would use a little bit of blue Loctite, and then once that's on, you can go ahead and make all of your braided lines, which is what we did from the Edelbrock intake to the factory Jeep tank.